real mangod ang giingon sa laki. Sulod ay nato din hipagliko gyud na gyud sila sa kinaunahan nga building.
Pag
Yeah, this is the Ada.
Some of your literature say we're supposed to be at ADA.
Yeah.
Any questions besides black jackets? All right. We're gonna get the boat on side. I'll let you know our game plan. Once we're out on our way, welcome aboard.
Dolphins and Wild Animals Tour here at St. Augustin, Florida.
Chances to generate the most amount of wildlife, but minute by minute doesn't ever change anything. I'm pretty good about tracking stuff out. We've been doing this a long time. Ryan's a fantastic captain as well. I'm a captain. We got between the two of us like 4. You guys are in very safe hands. As far as this is the total motto. We're in it now. We're gonna go down to the team zone, but Colorado or wherever else. Probably have water rivers, but not just water rivers. Using salt. We have 35 parts per thousand salt.
Dolphins and Wildlife Tour at Jackson, St. Augustine, Florida.
Taste this water. Sit as good. Taste the water. Now, the reason for that.
Mangita mi og dolphins, mga friends.
That being said, we'll go and look at the ocean because that's where the water is coming in right now. The water. We'll check out right here first. I don't know if that's where dolphins and other wildlife will be, but that's my best guess. Like I said, we've been doing this a long time. If you guys have questions, let us know, particularly about wildlife. I'll point out some of the historical structures when we get closer to town.
Come here, Trey.
Hey. Hey.
Stoop down so your face is showing. Dolphin and Wild Animals boat ride at St. Augustine, Florida with family.
Why do you have your purse?
I have small purse. Yeah, just hold it. Yeah. Yeah, see? Good job.
So you can go higher.
Yeah. See?
You can go above water.
It's like Trey's toy before. What was it? But it was for the concrete. Yeah, hoverboard. That one is for the water. Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. Look at the bird.
Ang problema ni isa.
Look, that's the lighthouse.
A lot of things that you typically would think like living out in the ocean, like use the fish you'll find on a menu, on any given seafood menu. Well, they'll live in here with their babies, and then when they get too big to hide around those nooks and crannies, they go out there. Yes, there are water cops out here, but not enough. Yeah, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of rules here. Florida's kind of like the Wild East. You don't need a boater's license to just drive a boat around here, which is crazy. There's so many boats. I mean, if you have paying passengers, yeah, we have captain's license. You can just like buy a boat and start driving around and have never done that before. Then your kids will need. Is out that way. All right, we share the same latitude as Morocco, so Morocco is the next landmass.
Yeah.
It's very far, but what's really cool, and I don't normally talk about this, but I was telling, where's Jeremy? Wait for beers, yeah. I was telling Jeremy about this.
Dali na. May anakins. Ating isang anakin. Aking apo.
We had one. Now I got it.
Akong apo.
This dolphin will be probably between 200 and 250 pounds, so about a quarter of the size of something that'd be the same species. Here we go. Nope, and this girl, this is actually a girl I know. Her name is Dangle. Look at her dorsal fin. If you get a good look, the dorsal fin has a little bit of a growth to it, and that growth, there is another one out here that has that as well, but Dangle, so I've been working with these guys part-time for the last 8 years. I'm not currently doing any research, but Dangle has had 3 babies over the last 8 years. At low tides, fish drop down into, because colder water, deeper water, has more oxygen in it. Oh, guys, and look, if you, oh man, look at the grass at our 11 o'clock. There's a pink bird kind of popping around just on the other side of this grass line here at 11 o'clock. That's a roseate spoonbill. I mean, it's vibrant pink. I don't know if you'll be able to see it when we go back north, but it's feeding around there. So Tamanid's dolphins, right? Tamanid's dolphins, they're non-migratory. They're a quarter the size of bottlenose. They have a different language, different habitat needs. What's the habitat we're in right now? I just told you. Estuary. Yeah, a saltwater estuary. Yeah,
Estuary.
Estuary. Very good. So estuaries, very important for a lot of things. But Tamanid's dolphins, they live in estuaries. If you were to take these dolphins, take Dangle and her associate here, and go move them out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, they're most likely going to starve to death.
Let me take picture.
They don't have the skill set developed over generation upon generation upon generation to be able to hunt deep. They're also physically a little bit different. These dolphins are really, really stocky. So think of like, they're like the sports cars. They're really maneuverable. They're really good at like zipping around and stopping and turning, but they don't have a really high-end top speed, and they can't dive that deep. They're anatomically different because they're so stocky that those muscles that they have that make them such great sprinters use up a lot of oxygen. So if they go deep, they burn up oxygen. I mean, it's like a foot of water. So they're a little bit more maneuverable. They're sprinters. They're not as streamlined. They're really beat up, and they're really a tough species. They're hunting around docks and oyster bars and boats. They're scraped and beat up. They're not like this pristine offshore magical species that everyone.
Ooh, right there. I saw it.
Offshore bottlenose.
Yeah.
They're pretty tough animals. You know, in a spurt they can go about 25 miles an hour. I think that's the high end of what they can do. They can only do that in like half the length of the boat. Boom, quick sprints. We have seen them jump, you know, 15 plus feet out of the water if they have to. Probably not going to do that here because they would need like a really deep runway to get up and jump out. Right?
Can you talk to them?
But they are coming up. Yeah.
Talk to them and talk their language.
I'm fluent in several languages, sir, but Dolphin is not one of them. Yeah, so with Tamanid's dolphins and with a couple other species, the dorsal fins are all unique to that animal. That is like their fingerprint. So that is how I can tell. Now Dangle has an incredibly pronounced growth on the tip of her dorsal fin. Other ones, like I said, I'm not getting paid to do research any longer. Not that I was really getting paid that much to begin with back in the day. But if you get a good picture of any Tamanid dolphin dorsal fin, you can tell them apart. We used to have we have big catalogs of it. When I was doing humpback whale, they start off life. They start off life all white, and then the more they eat, the more pink they get. So that one's probably about 3 years old. Very, very vibrant. So Tamanid's dolphins here, we think that they live around 22 years old. 20 to 25 is what they say. That's a guess. We know in Tampa they only lived to 14 and a half. That's pretty well documented, so we don't know why.
Over there on the blue boat.
But you'll find them, like I said, all the way up the East Coast. You can find them up in the Delaware River and all the way down Florida, around the other side of Florida. I'm not sure about the Panhandle of Florida, and I'm not sure about the Gulf side, like going over towards Texas. Probably, but I've not seen anything that would prove that. About 1 o'clock. We're in the Gulf. So yes, I know in Panama City, but going west of there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, thanks. I try. Sorry.
Isa ra ka dolphin diri?
Taguyan mo.
Ones do occasionally. Yeah, that thing at 1 o'clock. So 2 of these boats are parked on the island here at 1 o'clock. Right? There's about, I don't know, 6, 7 boats there. Well, this weekend there were 5.
Ayan, nakuha ko
So
na.
like, I've been out on the water on boats, and
Yan.
the dolphins will come up and hang out with the boat, ride the wake, right off the bow, something like that. These guys live here. This is their backyard. Like, boats are no new thing to them. Like, they are very familiar with boats. If they want to catch, if they want to play a wake, they don't have to play with us now. They can do it at any time. I've been on boats out in the middle of the Pacific and middle of the Atlantic. If you're the only boat around, dolphins will swarm you. But that's because boats are a little more scarce there. Like, this is a heavily boat trafficked area. So yes, they like boats, but they have the
Asa na
option
to?
of going
Asa na?
for a boat ride
Yay!
whenever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are hunting over
Yeah,
here on the
Dora.
port side. Dangle and
Nagpaduol siya.
her, could be her. That's a smaller one.
Good
Could be
job,
one of her offspring.
Dolphin.
That's maybe 3, 4 years old.
Finally, nabidyohan.
No, and we don't know why. The latest research that I looked at from the Tampa
Tu
Bay is
ara.
13 and a half years. Now I don't know. I think that it has something to do with the algae blooms. I think it has something to do with just
One
water quality.
more.
This is the cleanest coastal water in
Come
Florida.
on, Dolphin.
So we think that Tamanid's dolphins that live in New Jersey or the Savannah River or the Carolinas, they might also probably around that 15 to 16, 17 mark. And this might just be like a blue zone. You heard of blue zones? Like, so blue zones are places on Earth where people live longer. Like there's parts of Japan and Italy. This might be like a blue zone for Tamanids because we have such a tremendous amount of protected inshore water. And we are one of the few places in Florida that does not allow oyster harvesting. Oysters filter out toxins from the water. But we have a lot of oysters. Yeah, and they live here year-round, right?
He went back there.
It also has a big, like, those algae blooms, yeah, human pollution or fertilizer in the water, golf courses can accelerate that. But we have a lot colder water here. Like, the water gets cold enough where a lot of stuff dies out over the winter. It doesn't continuously grow throughout the year. Like, the water's 55 degrees here in the summer. It's cold. Yeah, right? So a lot of that stuff will die off naturally, and then we have this flushing from this, this major inlet. We don't have the clarity, but we have the cleanliness. All right, we'll hang here for another minute or two. No. If you guys have questions, please shout them out. Keep talking.
Mahadlok nga ron kami. Abot na sila dire. There you go. Good job,
They do
Dolphins.
dredge, so this marina, because they charge a lot of money to park the
Yay,
boat here,
Tuara.
inlet. But if you leave that channel, it could be 0 feet of water at any point. You want to stay in between the sticks. Yeah. Yeah, between the greens and the reds. Those are channel markers. You want to stay in between them. You go out. Yes. You go outside of them, you're gonna hit something. Yeah. And what was your question? No, these guys. No, this is a good outfit. They know what they're doing. They're giving a great amount of space. Yeah. They're good. The guy that's giving this tour right there, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. I've seen him operate. Yeah, you can pick up a marine mammal molestation charge. It's really hard to tell a former or a future boss what you got that for. It sounds funny, right? But yeah, you can get that. Like, I know a buddy of mine.
Close by right
when he was like, I don't know, it was like 17 or 18, like throwing fish into dolphin, which is highly illegal. You know why that's illegal? It's funny. We were over where it is. Don't feed the wildlife over in Panama City. It's been illegal to feed wildlife since the 70s.
Ginaabong nila ang
It wasn't really
dolphin.
enforced until the late 90s,
Siyempre,
early
di na
2000s.
magstay diha.
There was some outfits in Panama City, Florida that were feeding dolphins. They'd give you a bucket of mullet, and what was happening? Water. They'll drown. Yeah, they don't even know how to swim yet. It takes about a month after birth to learn how to come up and breathe correctly. The mom has to bring them up to the surface. So if you run over them, mom's going to spook, mom's going to drop, that baby's going to drop with her. Well, what if that baby was taking a breath in? Right? It'll drown. Even if you don't hit it, you can potentially kill it. So, yeah. Safe distance. Good idea. Yes. No. That's good. I'm glad you asked it. If you're in the water and dolphins approach you, that's not harassment. Go choose it, right? Hey, okay, I'm in the water. I spend a lot of time in the water surfing and whatnot. I've got little kids who are going all the time. If they come, if you guys want to have a close experience, like, don't act like a shark. Don't swim in a river. Like, hang out and chill. You remember that echolocation is not only do they detect fish 100 yards away at night, right? A football field like the way they can detect a fish. A fish that's 12 inches long. They can see your heartbeat. So if you start getting all excited and your heart's beating all fast, they know it before you do. They don't have you get plus your blood starts pumping. They're gonna be able to tell that. And they're going, that thing, that monkey in the water is gonna start coming at me. I'm gonna go over here. So calm yourself, deep breaths, be really chill. And that's how I've been in the water a lot with dolphins. You'll get a closer encounter. You've done a lot. The novelty's worn off. I know it's easier. It's not get excited if you do it more frequently. So, well, yeah. Turtles, no. Turtles aren't that smart. They're not that intuitive. No. Well, we're going to go towards town. We're looking for some more dolphins along the lake, some bird life. I'll give you some information on the historical structures. The offspring's name is the mom's name plus something extra. So we've now figured out certain populations, their lineage of who's mom and who's grandma and who's great-grandma based on acoustics, not just genetics. And we can take crazy facts. I think that's cool.
What's your favorite dolphin story?
Favorite dolphin story?
That you encountered?
I saw 2 dolphins kill a tiger shark. So I was studying I was filming spinner dolphins in a big pot, and then these 2 youngsters split off and went this way, and I followed them. and there was a tiger shark, 7-8 foot, was coming in, and each one of them hit it twice, boom, boom, with their rostrums, their upper and lower jaw, and then the tiger shark started quivering and went belly up. Yeah, and I was stoked because I didn't see the shark coming in behind me. I don't think they did it for me, but I was happy. But we're going towards town. If you guys need anything, let me know. Henry Flagler was the 6th richest man on planet Earth in the late 1800s. Do you guys know who the Rockefellers were? Heard that name? He started Standard Oil with John D. Rockefeller. They went 50-50 on that. He got really rich. He was way more wealthy than the Rockefellers. So that's where he made the bulk of his money. Then he started to do railroads and real estate. Built a railroad to come down here. He's like the godfather of Florida. Like Florida's the Wild East now, but it was really the Wild East then. There was no easy way to get here. When he turned 70, he started developing Florida to get out of New York City during the winter. So he built that hotel. He made it look like a Spanish Renaissance-style castle, but it was very, very modern for the time. It was the first hotel that had light switches and light bulbs in all the rooms. Thomas Edison did the work. Like his hands ran the wire. That's how new it was. The guy that invented a light bulb, put it in that. It was 3 years before the White House even had one light bulb. Every room had a light switch and a light bulb. Right? That is Flagler College. You'll see a smokestack. We're a little bit. You get there it is. Quickly over the white roof. Boom. That was a smokestack that powered the electricity exclusively for that building. It burned a lot of coal. And then there's a copper dome as we back up. That is the Flagler Memorial Presbyterian Church. Flagler's entombed in there. That is the prettiest church I have seen in the U.S. I would encourage you guys, if you're interested in architecture, that's a good one to see. The other thing I would encourage you all to see is up here at our fort. This is the Castillo de San Marcos. Despite it being so old, this is not the first fort that was built here. This is fort number 10 for St. Augustine. The first 9 forts were burnt down in battles with pirates or British or French pirates. St. Augustine was burnt down, leveled 9 times. Spain was tired of that. They spent 23 years building this. Once they got it as is, it's never lost a battle. Perfect battle. This is a cool thing to do. We have lovely conditions with that Sahara sand today. If you have not gone to the Florida, I consider it a must-see. When we have people visiting who've never been here before, we always go to the Florida. It's something to do. And that being said, my kids can be a huge pain, so we don't always have time. We have about 30 minutes to meltdown. We don't stand in line. We'll just walk around the outside as well. And you can do that. You don't have to go in and do it. So it is not roped off. You can walk right up to the wall. And so you can do the tour. If not, or it doesn't fit, or if you guys are an early riser, this is a great place to grab coffee and sit and watch the sun come up over to the east. So we're gonna tuck north. There is a passage here called the Bird Island Pass. There's a seasonal bird sanctuary called Least Terns. They will migrate here and they will lay their eggs on this island. guys, back by the sign here, our 3 turning and 4 o'clock, there's 3 birds standing by the no trespassing sign. Those are not least terns, but that's a separate endangered species. Those are American oyster catchers. They're really cool birds. They have a signature whistle. They have a bright orange beak. Those birds can open up oysters that are closed and eat the animal. Yeah, that's real strong. For a bird that weighs like, oh my God, manatee. Back here, look by the no wake sign.
See, that's where we go.
Sa tulay mo ni Agi?
Wala gani, lahi ang gikuan sa car.
Oo, ang address ka dito may gidalagid sa katong pinaka-address dito katong ilagi butang sa website. Pero kung basahan mo ang direksyon,
Nati bahagi sa Georgia.
yeah. Windy. Hold the hat.
Alright guys, we are going to make our way back into the marina here in just a moment. If you're looking around to see for us, just remain seated. That would be very helpful. So keep an eye out for any boats that might be